Welcome to my debate of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This debate of the week is about Havok and what she means for the knockouts. Now, if you see my TNA review, you already know Havok has now won the Knockouts Championship. And I was not happy to see that. For the simple fact, this should be done at Bound for Glory. That should give her something special. That should give Gail Kim something special. Even if you don't like Gail Kim 100% or not, this should be done at a signature pay-per-view. The best pay-per-view they have for the entire year. But we're not getting that. We get it now. But what does, sorry for the noise, it's always active in this area. But what does this mean now for the Knockouts division in TNA? Well, see it like this. You have basically, with Havok, 8 knockouts that are available. Not counting Brooke Tessmacher or Brooke and ODB, who we haven't seen in a very long time. If those two are still on the roster, even though they're not there, and I believe Brooke Tessmacher is going an amazing race with Bobby E. No, Robbie E, not Bobby E. Robbie E. I don't care about him. That's why I forgot his name. But if they are still on the roster and they're going to come back eventually, that's going to make 10 knockouts you had in total that you can work with eventually. Right now, the Knockouts has needed someone really dominant, very strong, very powerful. Now, the only person they've ever had in the last 5 years or so has been ODB. ODB has been the only woman they've had that was large enough and to a point dominant enough that they can do something. And I know you're going to say, what about Awesome Kong? Awesome Kong has not been there since about, what, 2007, 2008? I'm talking about around 2009 or 10 up until now. I'm talking about that type of group of women. Now, I know they had, I forgot her name, Jacqueline, I believe, they had her back, and a couple other women. But essentially, the most strongest person they had for quite a while has been ODB. And one of the things that many people liked about ODB is her big boobs. Now, I'm not being sexist here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just being honest. A lot of the moves that she uses in the ring has been her chest. Anytime you've seen her do anything with Eli, boom, she's done with her chest. That has been her gimmick for quite a long time. Being a big-breasted woman who can decently go in the ring. Now you have Havok. And with Havok, she's built differently. She's not a very large-chested woman. She's more of a heavy, lower half woman. I mean, she has very big hips. She doesn't have a big butt, but she has very large hips, and she's a very large woman on top of that. Which is for her favor. A lot of things can be done in her type of point of view. The only person other than her and ODB that we had was, saying her name is kind of hard to really say it. Leda Tappa, and I'm sure people are going to say, dude, you can't really say Leda Tappa. She didn't stay long enough. She was too green. At least you can say with Havok, who's been wrestling for quite a while, she's not as green. She's actually decently seasoned. I know she was in Shine at one point, and she's been on a couple of women's wrestling promotions, more than a few. She's won a couple of championships, and I'm not going against that, but I'm only focusing on TNA. And when it comes down to it, the only large woman that we've had in the last 4 or 5 years, other than ODB, that's gone up against small women, has been Leda Tappa. Yes, she might have, I don't know what it could have been. Maybe she was just too green. Maybe she was just not able to handle the stress of being in wrestling. Maybe they thought that she just wasn't ready, or maybe she was trying to be a greedy bitch, trying to get more money from a contract that she signed. I'm not saying any of those things because I don't have proof, but I am stating what could have been. But when it comes down to it, she's been the only other woman who can dominate over both sexes. Look what happened with Leda Tappa. She scared the hell out of a lot of men and even slammed one of them. Havok has slammed 2 smaller men that's about my size. I'm sorry. At this moment in time, Havok is one of the best things that the TNA has done for the Knockouts division. But where does TNA go now? Now, the question's going to be, is TNA going to still be on Spike? And will they maintain? Is TNA going to lose Spike? And will they find themselves another cable company? Or will they do this online like the WWE is doing until they get things straightened out? We don't know. So it's kind of hard to say where they're going to go with Havok. Because it's kind of hard to say how long things will last after October. But I will say this, and I'm giving the best case scenario. I'm not going to talk about the worst. If TNA deals with their problems and can maintain what they have, I'll give it to you like this. If Havok is allowed to keep that title, it will make a vast difference in the knockout division. Of course, the women will still have at least maybe one or two types of feud. But now you can have all the women that are currently on the roster, not talking about ODB and Brooke Tessmacher, that can go up against Havok. You could actually do at least one feud with them. You can have crossover feuds with her and a couple other women trying to get the Knockouts Championship. Of course, the one thing that's going to happen first is Gail Kim is going to get her, unless they're not going to let her have it, her Knockouts rematch. That's going to happen. I'm sure they will do it because they need to put over Havok more. My guess is that Gail Kim will get destroyed by Havok at least one or two more times, and then she's going to go through everyone. I'm not sure about Rebel though. Rebel is still very, very new into wrestling. She's only wrestled twice now. And I believe that she will not be really utilized much against Havok. She may have one match with her as a squash match. So basically Rebel will be a squash match type of person, at least in the beginning. And I did say Rebel was eventually going to wrestle. And I remember one person saying, dude, it's not going to happen. She's just going to dance around. Look what's happened. She's wrestled now twice. But the point of the matter is this. She can have a feud against Madison Rayne. And I know people are going to say, dude, who cares about Madison Rayne? She's a former Knockouts champion multiple times. She's going to go up against Madison Rayne. She's definitely going to go up against Angelina Love. And she's definitely going to go up against a Velvet Sky, who's shown already that after Gail Kim, Velvet could be the next person. I'm definitely sure Velvet will probably be the next person that's going to go after Havok. But will this all work out? If they keep promoting Havok as a total destructive heel, a force of nature, we could actually get something good in the Knockouts division. Eventually, if everything works out with TNA and they begin to progress themselves back to a state where the Knockouts division was really relevant. Look what they did. They put the Knockouts title match at the end of the show. When was the last time they've done that? The last time they did something really prominent that was at the end of a show was 2011 between Mickie Jane, who's probably had her baby now, which angers me, and Tara. And if you want to know the reason why I'm angry about Mickie Jane having a baby, she had a baby. I wanted her to stay skinny, a delicious piece of butt. I mean, she can get more chesty. She can still look incredibly sexy. But damn it all, I wanted to stay a virgin. Damn it. You know what I mean. But you get my point. We could get something very profound with this if TNA is willing to go there. I am really hoping with Havok being the TNA Knockouts champion, they will begin to progress and let her squash people. And while they're doing that, you can promote more feuds with the Knockouts to the point where you can have crossover types of feuds. And I know I'm stretching here, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't have that. But it doesn't mean it couldn't happen eventually. Now, I hope you enjoyed this debate of the week. Please tell me how you feel about Havok. What do you think is the best thing for Havok? Should it be Velvet Sky, which I believe that TNA is going for? Me personally, I would like Terrence Terrell be the one that goes after her first. Because Gail Kim deal with her, Terrence Terrell is her friend. I think Terrence Terrell will be the next person that should go after Havok. But it doesn't mean they're going there. I really believe it's going to be Velvet Sky. But you guys tell me below what you think. See ya!